Hi, this is Adam Dewhirst. This is part 6 of stylized character modeling in Maya. We now have, from our first 5 tutorials, we have a nice head pretty much finished. What we're going to do now is look to add details to the face, or the additional parts. Now we haven't done any eyebrows and we haven't done the glasses. These are obviously quite strong characteristics for this character. And the hair we'll leave, I think, till next lesson, but we'll add in those parts now. And I think also we'll take our eyeball, which we had on another layer, if you recall. We're going to take this eyeball, we're going to put another one on the other side, very simply, and I'm just going to hit Insert on the keyboard, and then go point, here we go, Snap to Grid, and I'm going to snap that to the center of the grid. Then I'm going to hit Modify, Freeze Transforms, delete the history, and we're going to go back to Duplicate Special, which we used in the last lesson, and we're going to do the same, duplicate that in a scale of -1. So it's popped it in exactly the same position on the other side. Now we have our 2 eyeballs, so that's a start. I might name these. Now, with any character you want to name it from his point of view, so his point of view is this will be the left eyeball, that will be the right eyeball, so I've got to remember that, and that's going to be, it says nerve sphere, we'll call it left underscore eye. And we'll call this one R underscore I. We can also name our skin as well. It's called Mesh Zero right now. We'll call it Skin underscore Geo. Okay, and that's that all done. Now a couple of things I can spot in here. Firstly, the chin's still looking a little triangular, so again I'm going to want to fix that quickly. You can just use the soft mod tool just to bring that up, turn Snap to Grid off. Just make that a little rounder in places, not at the expense of some of the changes we did earlier. So again, I'm just going to move some of these points out, turn the soft mod influence down by holding the B button and dragging your left mouse key. Let's have a look at that now. Yep, that's looking a lot better. The other thing that I mentioned in the last lesson is the nose. Now, we've moved this nose quite a bit in Mudbox. What I would like to do, I think, is add another loop here. So we've got a nice loop under the nose. I'm going to take the 2 inside nostril faces and delete those. It's kind of a cheat here, because I know we're not going to see up there, and I want to add another loop in here. Now, if I'd left those in, we're going to have a loop running around the whole of the nose. So I'm just going to delete those so I can add this loop, and I'm using Edit Mesh Insert Edge Loop tool. And now that we have that in, we've got a nice inside edge to our nose that I can pull in, which means I can have a little more control over the shape of that nostril, which is great. I mean, it could have been that we could have used that loop over the top. In fact, maybe we could actually. Let's. I'll leave that face deleted, but if we had done that, it would have given us perhaps the control to make this nose a little more bulbous. So maybe this is actually worth having in here. It means we can give the nostril a little more shape. Yeah, why not? But I do want to make sure in the side view that I'm not altering the shape of the nose here too much. Yeah, that does look a lot better. Yeah, all round I think that nose looks like a big improvement actually. The only slight problem is the stretching that's happening at this point. Let's turn off those camera refs. There's a little bit of stretching here now. I think it would be nice perhaps if we could redirect this nostril to come underneath. We could just charge ahead and try that. I wasn't actually planning on doing this, but let's give it a go anyway. And remember that our head is symmetrical, so any changes we make here won't, we can just delete half the head and reapply it. So let's just see what we can do. Okay, so I'm just deleting edges, trying to get rid of these triangles and trying to add some extra points around the nose so we can perhaps stop that corner from stretching. Still happening. What I'm going to want is something around here. Let's just draw it in and see if we can get to a point where it's relaxed. Turn soft mods off. Delete edge. And again, this is all kind of this is improvising as we go, just sort of seeing if we can get the mesh to work. So yeah, just going to add another loop. Now there is a danger to be adding too many loops on the nose. Again, this is a detailed part of the face, so I don't think it's a big danger at the moment, but remember just to try and even out the flow as you go, so that everything doesn't get too bunched up. And I'm not going at the other side because I'm actually, no, I'm going to duplicate this afterwards. Okay, let's have a quick look. That's looking better. We can see that stretching there, and it's much more reduced over here. Now what we've got now is we've got triangle, we've got a five-sided face, so these are things we do have to clean up. I've got a couple of options. I could add another loop here, potentially. Kind of actually think I might need it. This chin is looking like it's got a much wider separation of polygons than other parts of the chin, this front bit, so let's just pull some of these down. Won't do us any harm, I don't think, to add that extra loop. Still got lots of shape in the mouth. It's actually relaxed some of the parts out here, and now I can just come in. That goes one problem. Could come back in with the smooth geometry tool and just smooth that out a little. It's also going to help with our cheekbone problem that we had earlier. Now I just need to get rid of this triangle. Now technically that's currently not a triangle because of that edge loop we just added in. Let's just try and relax that down. Sort of a happy coincidence that's happened. And that's looking better, but we do have this slight edge here that isn't great. It's giving it a little bit of a hard edge. So let's move these points down. And remember, I'm only really affecting one side. I know I've got the reflection tool on, but I'm kind of just happily ignoring that at the moment. Okay, and what I'm going to do is we've made these changes. If you look in the front, you can see the difference. We do have one more edge there. I'll come back to that. Well, actually, I should address that right now. I've got a couple of options. I could add a loop in going down the front. Don't really think I want to do that. Well, actually, I'll tell you what, let's just see what's the worst that could happen. Edit mesh, insert edge loop. Now, in this case, of course, it's gone round and up over the back of our model, so that's not at all ideal. It's added that extra loop into the eye, and I don't think that's really a great idea. So I could of course delete this bottom bit and then rejoin a lot of these faces. But let's see if we can just fix it this way. I can direct it back in the middle. Let's start by going to the front view, and we'll delete half our head. I don't really want to take up too much time. As I said, this wasn't something I was planning on talking about, but while I was working we decided to fix it, so that's fine. As I say, these things happen. Okay, right, I think the easiest way is if I just pull this down here and we just add in another loop there. Again, it often happens with delicate areas that you do tend to have more loops than you would have liked, but I can always try and find a way to reduce this down afterwards. course, if this was a photoreal character, we might want that extra detail possibly. I mean, there's other things I can do here to potentially reduce this. I think with all these edges we could actually start deleting some. I'm pretty sure there's a way we can reduce this down. Let's merge these points. Yeah, actually, I think I've just spotted it. Yep. And fixed. We've just basically deleted those edges, and I know I had two triangles, one at the top here, one at the bottom, and what I've done is delete those edges to bring us back down to a much more reduced shape, and I'm going to delete that edge, and now we're up with one four-sided face, another four-sided face, and a four-sided face that currently looks like a triangle. But if we use the relax tool, there we go, four sides. And what we're looking at, it doesn't really matter underneath the mouth here. I know we've slightly ruined our edge flow around the mouth, but because we've already made that loop, I'm not so bothered about it. But we have repaired our nose. We've got some nice extra loops under the nose now as well, which means we can make that a little bit more rounded, a little bit more bulbous and characterized. So again, this is pretty much unique to this character, but all characters are different, so you have to come up with some slightly different solutions for each individual character that you make. As long as you can, you know, make sure you have a nice simple geometry in most places, then it should work. There we go. Okay, great. Right, so we should have repaired that. Let's go back and do another delete the history. We know it's frozen in 0, so we're going to duplicate special, and we'll go over this stage again. Take the two halves, mesh, combine. Take the bunch of vertices down the middle, edit mesh and merge. And hit 3. We can see, yep, everything there's fine. All nicely fixed. We've got a nice defined nose, looking pretty good. Okay, so what I wanted to do is go onto the eyebrows, so I'm going to bring back up our viewport, our camera reference, and we're going to create a cube. Bring that up, go into the front view, and again we can see here it's not with matching. Again later we can pull that chin out if we feel that it really does have to match the concept perfectly. And I'm just going to line this up roughly, go to the side view and position this at the front of the head. Might need to view that in perspective actually. What I'll do is I'll position this in front of the head for now, and we'll build it from the front view, and then we'll bend it to fit the rest of it. Now what I'm going to do is going to select this object, and I'm going to go display hide unselected object, so it's going to get rid of everything else. In fact, let's actually make sure we select our two image planes too. So display hide unselected objects. Now we haven't deleted it, we've just hidden it. Back to the front view. Take these two vertex. Now what's happening is that you'll see it's moving both sides. That's because I've still got my reflection tool on. Go to the tool settings up here and scroll down and turn reflection off. Now I can just alter each one individually. Okay, and I'm just going to fit it to one section, and I'm going to take the face selection tool and unselect the other faces. Now what I'm doing is just selecting the side face. If we hit 5, we can see that in shaded mode. Go back to the front. I just want that edge, and I'm going to extrude that out and scale it down. I'm going to do this the whole way just to fit it to the eyebrow. Now I'm using the scale in the middle because what that does is scales it in all directions, because this eyebrow is going to get thinner as well as it's not just going to be wide, it's also going to have to be thin. So let's pull this in, and in fact just doing what I said I wasn't going to do, and hit the scale tool again and pull it. Now it's quite easy to forget when you are and aren't doing it, so but yeah, it is a little thinner at the end. So again we can just take some of these vertex to the top view perhaps. just scale them out to give it a bit of a rounded shape. What I think I'll also do, because I don't like those squares on the end, is I'm probably going to take Edit Mesh, Insert Edge Loop, and just put that there. And then use the scale to maybe scale it up, maybe scale it out as well. Just make it a little rounder, and I think I'll probably try the same on the front. You want to be wary of using the scale tool though, because what we can see here is that it's moved that edge down a little far perhaps. So go back to the front view. Now we've got our 3D shape. We can come in and just fit that a little better to our illustration. And there is the beginning of our eyebrow. We're going to go display show all, or show last hidden. We'll do show all. Now what we're going to do now is go to the side view. Have a quick look at how thick that eyebrow looks, and we're going to be wary here because as we rotate it's going to change some settings. So actually what I want to do is just, I think I'm going to make it a bit thinner, move it back. I'm looking at the top view at the moment. You can sit in the head a little, and we're going to take, let's go to change from the polygon menu to the animation menu, go to create deformers and lattice. And in lattice I'm going to set everything to 3. So 3 divisions along X, 3 divisions along Y, and 3 along Z. Create. And what we have is a box with 3 divisions on X, Y, and Z. So what we can now do is take the lattice along this side, pull it back, and it'll affect the shape of our eyebrow. And we can also rotate here, so if we wanted to give it a bit more shape as well, we can do that. Go back to the side view, see if this is working. Now I think my side view here is going to be just a little inaccurate. The drawing isn't really taking into account a lot of real world issues, but you know, we'll try our hardest to fit to that illustration. I'm going to do edit, select the eyebrow, edit, delete by type history, and that should get rid of the lattice. There we go. So let's select both meshes, hit 3. And there's our eyebrow shape. Maybe not fitting quite the concept there. Certainly fits the front view. As you recall, I said I was going to design this mainly to the side view, so I'm actually now going to edit this a little. I do want it to sit around the face, so I think this is correct, but what I'll probably do is just put it to the correct height that the side view had, and maybe try and shape some of this. Remember, it's a cartoon character, so a lot of this, it doesn't matter if it looks a little silly, because it's meant to. Obviously it looks a little like a slug on his head at the moment, but once we've added texture and other parts it should look a lot better. Also looks a little big because there's only one. So we're going to call that left eyebrow. Excuse my spelling. Delete the history. Freeze the transforms, make it nice and neat. Now we want to add another one, so we're going to hit insert on the keyboard again, snap to grid, and again snap that to the middle of the world, the center of the grid. And we'll do edit, duplicate special, and again in -X. There we go, now we've got 2 eyebrows. And this one we will name R for right eyebrow. There we go, left and right eyebrow, left and right eye, and the face. Right, now I think we've got just enough time to start the glasses, so let's give them a go. Again, we're going to make a cube, we're going to scroll up, turn snap to grid off, pull that out to the front view, line it up roughly, and we'll do the same thing. We're going to use this as the basis for our glasses. Once again, I'm going to hide unselected objects, so select all the ones I want, the views, the camera references, and the cube, and display, hide unselected objects. Don't want to make this tutorial too long, but I do want to get the glasses done, so let's select this face. Now this is a hard-edged object, the glasses. They're not organic, so I'm not going to be scaling anything universally because I want to keep the rigid shape of the glasses. I'm also not going to use soft mods. I'm going to select this face on the ends, hold down Control and drag to unselect the others. Again, pull that out. I might hit 4 for wireframe mode. Just going to roughly plot this in. And again, I can add extra edges to give it a bit more shape, so we'll scroll back to the polygon menu, edit mesh, insert edge, loop, and just add them where I think they're going to be appropriate. I'm going to try and keep that top edge as straight as possible. And just, again, move these points to give it a little bit of curvature, but maintaining its straightness in suitable areas. So if we go to the perspective view, what we're going to do is delete all the faces except that front side. And this is the basis for our glasses. There we go. And what we're going to do now is take these faces and extrude inwards. Okay, now this is a little messy. Let's delete all these additional faces that we've left with, and then we should have just the shape. And we'll do the same as before. We're going to try and line these up. So I'm going to take these edges, I'm going to use the scale tool to sort of straighten them up. Maybe pull them in a little. And again, we'll just move these points. Try and make that a straight edge. There we go. Same here. And select that, move that down a bit. I'm trying to make this look as neat and symmetrical as possible. There's our basic rim for our glasses. We're going to hit the extrude tool, extrude that back. There we go. Front view, and let's try and get the middle. Now what we're going to do here is we'll take the whole object, hit W, we're going to modify center pivot so it's right in the middle, scale it a little wider, edit mesh, insert edge loop, we're going to add one on either side, and then we're going to take this little bit here. Actually, let's have a quick look in the front view. Right, one more change. And we're going to, let's see, what are we going to do? Let's scale that in. Go to the side view, go to the front view, and let's extrude that outwards right to the center. So we're going to take 2 vertex on that edge and hit 0. Now we can hit smooth mode now. I don't think you'll get much of a result. It's quite basic. Okay, and we'll just delete this here. If we want these edges to be harder, more sharp, we would take edit mesh, insert edge loop, and add some additional loops here around the corners. And that should keep its rigid shape. Well, it should keep a sharper, harder edge. There we go. Let's try it now. There we go, that's got a much sharper shape, and again we can do the same around this one. There are, of course, like, again, you could make these in a multitude of different ways, but this is what I'm choosing to do. Okay, there we go, and we're going to select this edge, and that's looking pretty spot on, so we're going to just pull that out, and then this piece here will be where we extrude the side from. Okay, and in this case I think I'm just going to, we'll jump ahead a little, we're just going to pull these out and start rotating around to make a little bit of a ear loop, and I'm going to have to fit this to the head, so this is just going to be quite basic. Okay, hit 3 again. What I'm going to do is do display show last hidden. Okay, so there's our beginning of our glasses. We're going to move them back. I think already he's got a lot more character. And I'm going to take those edges, go to the side view, and just stretch them back till they reach the ear. Maybe pull them down a bit if they need to go down. It might be that we actually, I mean, logically the real way to do that would be to move these this way. But we're going to make some tweaks because, as I say, it's a cartoon character, and obviously there'll be some changes. Now, one obviously issue that we have a bended head here that fits our front and our side view, but it doesn't quite match up with a straight pair of glasses, so I might make a slight tweak on the side of the head, just smooth that in a bit. And I'm also going to make some tweaks on the glasses, so we'll add an edge here, and we're going to just shape these. And as I say, it's a cartoon character, so it doesn't really matter. And this is why I didn't add these edges earlier, because I didn't know how well it would fit around the head. The answer was not very well. So we'll just rotate that last bit just so it looks like as if these have actually intentionally been bent around the head. And I'll hit 3. It's looking good. It may even be that we want to rotate this front piece a little. I don't know. Might sit a little better. Could even give it a little bit of a bend in the front as well, perhaps. Just a little bit. And I think we'll also add a loop on the top and the bottom. This is just going to give it as I said earlier, a hard edge to the model. We'll do the same on this piece. Let's try it on smooth now. There we go, nice hard edges. And we've got one exception here, and that's because we haven't added an edge there. There we go. Nice set of cartoony glasses. And what we'd want to do is again just modify, freeze transforms, hit insert, center that to the middle of the world, delete the history, and again duplicate special, 2 sides of the glasses. Now what's happened here is because that hasn't quite been snapped in the middle, I think, so let's go front view. And I think with all our moving we may have lost that central point, so again let's just hit 0. And we'll I think actually possibly we may have moved that piece a little too much. Again, we can make changes using the soft mod tool afterwards on reflection and move the vertices. So again, we'll duplicate special, there we go, mesh, combine, and just take those vertices in the middle and merge them. There we go, there's our glasses and the eyebrows. And the eyebrows sit a little high, so I'll just make a slight tweak to them. See if they actually line up in the side view actually. Yeah, they're pretty much correct. So I can either move the whole eyebrow or maybe just that bit there, perhaps. There we go. And remember that should still be centered from our last correction, so we'll just duplicate that again. And we could rename it too. Oh. Nope. Looks a bit like brains from Thunderbird. Right, there we go. There's our character. He's got his glasses, he's got his eyebrows, he just needs the hair now, and then the beard. So let's going to save this here, and then we'll continue with that in the next lesson.